Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a Rising Bharat Summit speaks of confident India while identifying its strengths in the last 11 years. Says policy paralysis era is over and developed nations are eager to ink trade deals with India. The PM also says India is riding on reform express focused on delivery, excellence and technology-led governance. India revises FY26 growth projection upwards to 7.6%. The economy grows at a faster than estimated 7.8% in the third quarter ending December. And the Taliban says it prefers dialogue after the latest round of clashes with Pakistan, which results in heavy casualties on both sides as Islamabad declares open war. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has underlined the importance of technology reforms and financial innovation in shaping India's future. Speaking at the first post-budget webinar of the 2026-27 series, the PM laid out the vision for a Viksit Bharat by 2047. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay gets more.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the country is riding on the reform express with government simplifying processes, improved ease of doing business and expanding technology-led governance. He emphasized that the focus must not be limited to policy intent only, but also on delivery excellence to maintain this momentum. Addressing a post-budget webinar on technology reforms and finance for Viksit Bharat through video conferencing, PM Modi said reforms should be evaluated not by announcements but by their impact on the ground.
इस मोमेंटम को बनाए रखने के लिए हमें ना केवल पॉलिसी इंटेंट पर ध्यान देना है, बल्कि डिलीवरी एक्सीलेंस पर भी फोकस करना है। रिफॉर्म्स का मूल्यांकन घोषणा से नहीं, बल्कि जमीनी स्तर पर उनके प्रभाव से होना चाहिए।
Emphasizing that the national budget is not just a trading document but a long-term policy roadmap, PM Modi called for collective effort to realize the goal of a developed India by 2047. He highlighted India's extraordinary resilience over the decades, stressing that progress has been driven by conviction-led reforms, not by chance.
पिछले एक दशक में भारत ने असाधारण रेजिलियंस दिखाई है और ये संयोग से नहीं आई है। हमारी रेजिलियंस कन्विक्शन ड्रिवन रिफॉर्म्स की देन है। हमने प्रोसेसेस को सरल किया है, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस को बेहतर बनाया है, टेक्नोलॉजी लेड गवर्नेंस का विस्तार किया है, इंस्टीट्यूशंस को मजबूत किया है और आज भी ये देश रिफॉर्म एक्सप्रेस पर सवार है।
The Prime Minister said the effectiveness of the budget must be measured through tangible outcomes, expanding infrastructure, simplifying credit flow, improving ease of doing business, and ensuring transparency in governance. He added that these reforms should make citizens' lives easier while creating new opportunities. With technology and finance at the core of reforms, the Prime Minister's message sets the tone for India's journey towards becoming a developed nation in the next 2 decades. Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
And Prime Minister Modi is set to inaugurate the Semiconductor Assembly, Test and Packaging Facility of Micron Technology in Sanand, Gujarat. The project marks a major step in India's semiconductor manufacturing journey. Ahead of the PM's visit, DD India's Meghna Dev spoke to Chairperson and President and CEO as well of Micron Technology, Sanjay Mehrotra. Take a look.
a landmark moment for India with the inauguration of this semiconductor ATMP facility that Micron is coming up with in Sanand, which will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We are joined in by the CEO, Sanjay Mehrotra. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to DD India. Very important. This was much awaited project. It is finished in record time. What do you have to say? Prime Minister will be inaugurating it very soon now.
This is a historic moment for India, for Micron technology. Micron technology is a global leader in memory and storage semiconductor technology, and that is today at the heart of AI. Micron here is now bringing that leading edge memory production to India. We are very excited on behalf of all of the 1,300 team members here in this facility and another 4,000 of Micron team members in Hyderabad and Bangalore. We are very excited to welcome the Prime Minister and other honorable ministers to open this facility tomorrow. So this is a pioneering project for semiconductor manufacturing in India.
How do you see India's strides in the semiconductor ecosystem, because India has just announced the Indian Semiconductor Mission 2.0 in its budget. How do you see it growing in the future, becoming a long-term player in the ecosystem?
We here are definitely planning from phase 1 today, which is being opened, to phase 2 in the future. This will grow to a facility that will be over time 5,000 manufacturing workers here, and another nearly 5,000 that will be enabled in the ecosystem as well. So this is just the beginning. Micron is pioneering this project with the support of the government, with, of course, the policies that this Modi ji's government has enabled here. Micron is ready to ramp up volume production and put into production multiple hundreds of millions of advanced memory chips into assembly and test here and be able to ship it globally worldwide.
So here we had the CEO of Micron Technology speak to us on obviously the much awaited inauguration of this ATMP facility, as well as definitely something that will create more buzz in the semiconductor ecosystem, which awaits to come in India as well as which exists in India at the moment. With camera person Vinod Oja, this is Megha Dev for DD India from Sanand, Gujarat.
Now, tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan have sharply escalated, with both sides exchanging airstrikes and retaliatory attacks along the border. Pakistan says it targeted Taliban positions and even captured an outpost inside Afghan territory, while the Taliban claims it has responded with heavy counterattacks. Civilians are among those caught in the crossfire, and fears are growing that the situation could spiral further.
Pakistan carried out airstrikes on major cities in Afghanistan on Friday, including the capital, Kabul. Pakistan has claimed to have captured an outpost inside Afghanistan's border. Its military spokesperson claimed that airstrikes hit 22 Afghan army targets, killing 274 Taliban officials and militants. In response, the Taliban launched retaliatory attacks on Pakistani military positions. Images from the Afghanistan-Pakistan border show Taliban fighters loading rocket launchers onto vehicles. The latest round of armed clashes came after Pakistan targeted Taliban government locations in Kabul, Kandahar and Paktia.
Dear compatriots, in response to the recent airstrikes carried out by Pakistani forces in Nangarhar and Paktia, heavy attacks have begun tonight around 8 p.m. from Nangarhar and Kunar provinces.
Both sides claim they have inflicted heavy losses, but each is reporting very different numbers. Pakistan's defense minister has described the situation as open war. This hospital in Nangarhar near Afghanistan's eastern border with Pakistan is now filled with wounded civilians.
We
were breaking our fast in the tent. When the fighting started, heavy weapons were used. Something fell near our tent. My wife's hand was badly injured and my nephew was also injured. Both are now in the hospital in critical condition.
Relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan have been deteriorating for months. Border crossings have mostly remained closed since deadly clashes in October that killed more than 70 people on both sides. Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of allowing militant groups to operate from its territory and carry out attacks inside Pakistan. The Taliban government denies these allegations. Many of the attacks in Pakistan have been claimed by Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, a militant group that has increased its operations since the Taliban returned to power in Afghanistan in 2021. Several rounds of talks between Afghanistan and Kabul have failed to produce a lasting ceasefire. Even after the latest clashes, Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid told reporters that Kabul wants to resolve its latest conflict with Pakistan through dialogue. Iran, which borders both countries, has now offered to mediate and help ease tensions. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and China have also made efforts to bring down tensions. With airstrikes and retaliation on both sides, the conflict between Pakistan and Afghanistan shows no signs of easing anytime soon. Abhishek Bose for DD India.
Now, India has unveiled a major overhaul of its economic measurement framework. The way GDP, CPI and IIP are calculated has been revised, with new base years introduced to better reflect realities of today. GDP and IIP will now be benchmarked to 2022-23, while CPI shifts to 2024. This marks the 9th revision in India's national accounts. India's Q3 GDP showed 7.8% real growth, 8.9% nominal rise under the new series, reflecting broad-based expansion. Take a look at this report.
India has revised the way it calculates GDP, CPI and IIP. The new base year for GDP and IIP is 2022-2023, while CPI shifts to 2024. The revised GDP series adopts double deflation, which separately adjusts input and output prices to measure real value added more accurately. It also uses supply and use tables to balance production and consumption data, and the proportional Denton method to align quarterly GDP with annual totals without artificial jumps. Data sources are being expanded. Household consumption, expenditure surveys, labor force surveys, and enterprise surveys will feed into the new weights. Administrative records like GST filings, vehicle registrations, and petroleum sector data will be integrated to capture real-time activity. The base year shift from 2011-2012 to 2022-23 reflects new industries like digital services, renewable energy, and gig work. Earlier, wholesale price indices dominated. Now, a wide basket of consumer and producer prices will be used. Informal and gig economies will be better represented. Food subsidies will be treated as transfers in kind, not product subsidies. Net GST collections, including cess, will replace gross GST.
You would see that in all the 3 years, last 3 years, the growth rate, real growth has been over 7%. And the nominal growth rate over the last 3 years is averaging above 9%. And that's very important because these are the numbers when we talk of achieving Viksit Bharat 2047. The numbers being talked about are between 7 to 8% real growth rates and between 9 to 10% of nominal growth rates.
According to the new GDP series with base year 2022-23, India's economy is projected to maintain strong momentum in Q3 of FY 2025-26. Real GDP at constant prices is estimated at 84.54 lakh crore rupees, reflecting a year-on-year growth of 7.8% compared to 78.41 lakh crore rupees in Q3 of FY 2024-25. At current prices, nominal GDP is projected to reach 90.91 lakh crore rupees, marking an 8.9% increase from 83.46 lakh crore rupees in the same quarter of the previous year. Similarly, real gross value added, GVA, is expected to rise to 77.38 lakh crore rupees, showing a 7.8% growth, while nominal GVA is projected at 82.58 lakh crore rupees, up 8.2% from last year's 76.35 lakh crore rupees.
Subsequent to the economic survey and the budget presentation, we also have had the framework agreement with the United States arrived at, etc. And therefore, we are increasing our GDP growth outlook for FY27 from 6.8 to 7.2 previously to between 7 and 7.4% under the new series. We are actually, at the moment, we feel that the risk is on the upside in this range. That is, the economy is more likely to achieve a number closer to 7.4% rather than 7%, of course.
The figures highlight a broad-based expansion across sectors, underscoring sustained economic resilience under the revised National Accounts Framework. The new methodology, the ninth in the series of revisions, ensures India's growth story is measured against today's realities, giving policymakers and businesses sharper insights into the economy's true prospects. Bureau Report, DD India.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has arrived in Mumbai on Friday at the start of his 4-day visit to India. He'll be meeting business leaders in Mumbai, and Carney will then fly to New Delhi on the 1st of March and meet Prime Minister Modi the 2nd. He will also meet External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar and address an India's-Canada CEO forum in the national capital before returning to Ottawa. Now, Prime Minister Modi on Friday spoke of confident India's rise beyond doubt and despair while launching a hard-hitting attack on the Congress over the Indian Youth Congress's shirtless protest during the AI summit. The PM further said the opposition party not only took off its clothes in front of foreign guests, but also exposed its ideological bankruptcy, and that it has become merely a toolkit for opposition in the name of ideology. Addressing the News 18 Rising Bharat Summit in New Delhi, the PM said that in a democracy, opposition does not mean mere opposing anything blindly, but presenting an alternative vision.
विदेशी अतिथियों के सामने कांग्रेस ने सिर्फ कपड़े नहीं उतारे, बल्कि इसने कांग्रेस के वैचारिक दिवालियेपन को भी एक्सपोज कर दिया है। जब नाकामी की निराशा, हताशा मन में हो और अहंकार सिर चढ़कर बोलता हो, तब देश को बदनाम करने की ऐसी सोच सामने आती है।
Now, Iran has hardened its stance on high-stakes nuclear negotiations with the United States, warning that progress hinges on Washington abandoning what Tehran describes as unrealistic and excessive demands. The comments have come as diplomatic contacts resume amid fragile regional dynamics and deep mistrust on both the sides. With talks ongoing but no clear path to an agreement, the latest signals underscore a pivotal moment in efforts to stabilize tensions and rein in Iran's nuclear program.
Iran made its position clear after fresh talks in Geneva, stressing that progress depends on seriousness, realism, and avoiding miscalculations from the American side. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi conveyed this message during a phone call with Egypt's top diplomat, Badr Abdelati. This comes even as the United States and Iran reported some progress in discussions over Tehran's nuclear program. However, hours of negotiations ended without any breakthrough, leaving uncertainty over whether diplomacy can prevent potential US military action amid growing military build-up in the region. The Iranian delegation was led by Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi, while US President Donald Trump's Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, along with Jared Kushner, represented Washington.
During these several long and very intensive hours, we made good progress and very seriously entered into the element of a possible agreement both in the nuclear field and in the area of sanction. On some issues, we have now become very close to an understanding. On certain other issues, we still have difference of opinion.
Both sides are expected to resume negotiations after eternal consultations in their respective capitals. Technical level discussions are scheduled to take place next week in Vienna.
We decided that the technical team would start technical studies at the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna on Monday, and with the help of experts from that organization for our next meeting, the fourth round, it was agreed that it would be held soon. I think we will have this meeting in about a week.
Amidst the tensions, the US authorized non-emergency government personnel and family members to leave Israel over safety risks, while China has advised its citizens to leave Iran at the earliest, citing escalating external security risks and the possibility of US strikes. Beijing has also urged its nationals to avoid traveling to Iran for now. With diplomacy ongoing and tensions mounting, the coming round of talks could prove crucial in determining whether dialogue prevails over confrontation. Bureau Report, DD India.
President Draupadi Murmu created history by flying a sortie in the indigenous light combat helicopter Prachand in Jaisalmer on Friday. The sortie preceded an exercise called Vayu Shakti at Pokhran later in the day. DD India's Vishal Baristo reports.
Dressed in uniform, the Supreme Commander of India, escorted by the Chief of the Indian Air Force, took sortie of the Prachand helicopter at the Jaisalmer Air Force Station. Escorting the Supreme Commander was Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh, the Chief of the Indian Air Force. The highlight of the 25-minute sortie was the radio message of the President from the cockpit. President Murmu has also flown Sukhoi 30 MKI and Rafale on October 29, 2025.
LCH Prachand is a prominent example of the self-reliant Indian forces, said the President of the country, who's also the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces. In her 25-minute sortie, she gave a clear message to the world and also to the enemy that Indian forces are always ready for any eventuality. Quite a message also for the women empowerment across the country. With cameraman Shiv in Jaisalmer, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
Artificial intelligence giant OpenAI has announced a massive $110 billion funding, valuing the company at $730 billion. The investment comes as OpenAI races to meet the growing global demand for artificial intelligence tools and infrastructure. Alongside the capital raise, OpenAI announced strategic partnership with NVIDIA, whose advanced AI chips are widely used for large-scale AI training. The move highlights intensifying competition in the global AI sector. Now, sports in Abhishek Sharma and Hardik Pandya struck blazing half-centuries as India thrashed Zimbabwe by 72 runs in their must-win Super 8 match to keep their semi-final hopes alive in the T20 World Cup in Chennai on Thursday. India will now face the West Indies in a virtual quarter-final on Sunday, as the winner will enter the semis while the loser will be knocked out. DD India's Deepika reports.
At the ongoing Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, the Indian cricket team beat Zimbabwe by 72 runs in Super 8 match at Chennai's M.A. Chidambaram Stadium. With this victory, India has kept its hopes of qualifying for the semi-finals alive. In a must-win situation after losing to South Africa in their Super 8 Group 1 opener, India rode on half-centuries by Abhishek Sharma and Hardik Pandya to post 256 for 4 after being sent to bat first. This is also the highest total of the T20 World Cup by Team India. Not only this, Abhishek recorded a half-century and captain Suryakumar Yadav also completed the 4,000 international runs mark.
And India's batting was so good. I'll appreciate Hardik Pandya's knock and Abhishek Sharma's knock. It was mind-blowing.
And I honestly thought today's match was very, very nice. After the last match of India, it was very sad and heartbreaking. But then I got to know that there were two other more chances for India to win this match. It was very, very nice. And Abhishek Sharma's knock, it was mind-blowing.
It was really nice. I enjoyed it.
It was really great. Indian batting clicked finally. I think it was a true pitch. So there was no grip and turn and our batsmen could just play through the line.
The match was interesting and everyone did their role and everyone was in their same form.
I think we have to just continue with the same team. Everybody knows their role and everybody knows what to do. We just have to continue the same team with the same form. And I think we can beat West Indies easily, but the struggle starts during the semi-finals. England seems to be a tough squad to beat, and let's see if we win the finals. I think 2 times in a row, nobody has done it.
We really flexed our muscles that we had shown in all the bilateral series. Finally, Abhishek Sharma came good on the day. Hopefully, we have another performance like this against West Indies, and fingers crossed, we go to the semi-finals and lift the cup.
With this victory, Team India now steps into another crucial encounter against the West Indies in Kolkata. With bowling still a concern for Team India, it remains to be seen how Team India plans to cope up with the departments which need strength and conditioning.
Match was a little one-sided. I felt it is supposed to be one-sided, but yeah, given the bowling attack, I think we struggled a lot. Hopefully, next match we see how the bowling strength is.
Each player contributed fairly in India's massive victory against Zimbabwe. However, the challenge is still up front for Team India as the next match against West Indies has its own set of challenges that remains to be addressed by the captain and the coaches with an aim to make it to the semi-finals.
Victory against Zimbabwe by 72 runs. Abhishek Sharma's first 50 of the T20 Cricket World Cup tournament. Suryakumar Yadav completing 4,000 run and India setting a score which goes down in the books of history. All in one single match against Zimbabwe in Super 8. India has to keep up this momentum against West Indies as well in order to secure a sure-shot place in the semi-finals. On the other hand, as fans were expecting, South Africa has also defeated West Indies. The next match should also go in India's favour in order to see India playing the semi-finals. With camera person SP Dubey, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from M. A. Chidambaram Stadium, Chennai.
And another Super 8 crucial clash has been wrapped up with England winning against New Zealand by 4 wickets with 3 balls to spare in Colombo. New Zealand, who had won the toss and had opted to bat, were fielding unchanged. They're playing 11. England had made one change as Rehan Ahmed replaced Jamie Overton. And Rehan Ahmed really came good for England today, having the highest 7th wicket stand along with Will Jack's 40 runs, which really took them over the line. Now, it is keeping Pakistan's hopes alive now for making it to the Super 8s as well. This win of England against New Zealand. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen to download the app right away. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.